the Laken Riley Act will become the very first bill that I proudly sign into law as the 47th President of the United States. It's a tremendous tribute to your daughter, what's taking place today. That's all I can say, but it's so sad we have to be doing it at all. Thank you very much for being here. To Laken's family, we will keep Laken's memory alive in our hearts forever, everyone's hearts.
So that was day 10 of the second Trump administration, the current one here when those remarks were made. That was at the White House. The Laken Riley Act established that the Department of Homeland Security must detain illegal migrants if they are arrested or charged with a violent crime.
Laken Riley, the 22-year-old nursing student who attended the University of Georgia, was brutally murdered in February of 2024. Jose Ibarra was convicted of the killing shortly before Thanksgiving and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Georgia Congressman Mike Collins was the one who introduced the Laken Riley Act, and he joins us now. Sir, welcome, and thanks for coming on. You know, we were flashing back in time a little bit during the first 100 days. The Laken Riley Act stands out tremendously in the eyes of, I know, our viewers and folks who just want our country to feel safer. What runs through your mind today as you think about what this is able to accomplish?
Well, and I think it was able to accomplish the fact that we were able to get a lot of these criminals out before they committed major crime. But there was a reason for that, and the reason was the news media helped us kept her name in the media. And it became the face of this problem that we have had in our country during the Biden administration. And the American people were demanding for something to be done, and the Laken Riley Act was laying right there. And the other part of that, I think that President Trump saw that. You know, he had already addressed that the border security was the #1 problem in our country, and the fact that these thugs, these criminals have invaded our country and have been raping and pillaging Americans. And so it was a good first bill to be signed into law. It helped immigration, helped Tom Homan out there to pick up these people before they really do something violent, which is what Ibarra did to Laken Riley. And it's unfortunate that he was not given the death penalty, but that DA down there, who was a George Soros pick, would not go for the death penalty. But if there was ever a death penalty case, that's one right there.
Congressman, as you well know, not everyone was on board with the Laken Riley Act. It was New Mexico Democratic Congressman Gabe Vasquez recently holding a town hall event, and he continued to stand behind his decision. Listen to this.
That's one of the reasons that even as a frontline member of Congress, as somebody who won a district in Congress that Trump also won, they said, wow, Dave, you really had courage to vote against the Laken Riley Act. Which I did. I voted against the Laken Riley Act. Because due process is a fundamental part of who we are as Americans.
So there's that word again, due process. He's applauding himself, patting himself on the back for voting against it. He had the courage to vote against it. Your thoughts there watching that?
Hey, he can stand up for these thugs and these criminals all day long, for these murderers. They can continue to go to El Salvador. Please make sure that they keep getting on the news about that. That is, it's more evidence out there. And even on your segment previous to this, it's just more evidence that the Democrats, where they stand up for these illegal aliens, especially these criminals. And in a state like New Mexico that you were just talking about, that just goes to show that Joe Biden and the Biden administration had another tool in their toolbox that they could have used to prevent this from happening. But they don't want that. There is a reason that they want these illegal aliens to come into our country. They need them for votes because the American people understand that we have had enough. We've had enough of the socialistic agendas that's been crammed down our throats for 4 years to try to make us look more like Europe, more every day, and that's not us. America first, and America is back, and we are well on our way back. You can tell that in the first 100 days that we've had.
Wow, you can definitely see it if you're just looking at the raw data points of crossings. It's dropped significantly since President Trump took office, and we'll keep watching it throughout the remainder of his term. That is Congressman Mike Collins of Georgia joining us this morning. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.